What's up, guys, and welcome to episode 3 of me reviewing your teams. Obviously, this is a new series on the channel. We've literally probably hit like 3 videos back to back because I wanted to get your teams out there and give my opinion on them and how I would improve them. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this series. As I said, I don't even know, I haven't even released a video yet. As you can tell, I'm still wearing the same clothes, literally just rattling through these videos. If you guys do want your teams reviewed and give my opinion on them, use the hashtag VennyReviews on Twitter, or reply to my tweet when I tweet out about sending me your teams, or when I post it on my Instagram story, reply to that as well. But there are a few ways you can get into the videos. As I say, if the requests become loads and loads and loads, obviously there's going to be a few of you what actually can get into the videos, but because there's nothing else scheduled for this week, I'm just trying to get you guys as much content of this as much as possible. As I said, maybe in a couple, next week once Switch Champs is here, we're probably only going to be doing this 1 or 2 times a week, depending on what the rest of the schedule is for the week. But if there's loads of interest, maybe we up it, or if there's not too much interest, obviously we might lower it. But yeah, hopefully you guys, 1, see your team in here, or 2, you get some ideas for your team even without, your team being in here. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you are new around here, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bells, and also like and comment in the comments below. In the comments below. Enjoy the video. Right, onto the first team here of the episode. We've got Nathinos98 up from Twitter. His team's looking very decent in general. I think a lot of sweaty players, a lot of overpowered players have been put into place here. But obviously we're looking at some things such as Rashford on weekend and Carrasco on weekend. He's obviously had to do some things like that to get certain players in. So for example, we had to play Rashford on the weekend to get him in. He's also had to play Carrasco on the weekend so Laurent gets full chem. So he's in a tricky situation, I think, here, where his team is very good on paper, but obviously we're looking to try and get more chemistry really at the end of the day. So what I'm trying to debate in my head is like, how can we actually make this into more chemistry? And I assume the one way we could do it is by getting somebody who's Spanish from the Prem to link with Laurent. But there's not the greatest of options for that sort of side. So maybe if we go to like a 4-3-3, I'm just going to be thinking on the spot here, to be honest with you, because I haven't actually got any sort of thought process really how I want to go around this team. But maybe we look into doing something such as that, and then we need that link into Rivaldo, so maybe we have to go to like a 4-3-3 flat, but then Gomez doesn't get the links. I think we're going to have to get to that point where maybe we have to change up something with the midfielders. Maybe we go to the Prem players. Obviously the Laurent and Rivaldo is crazy this year, but I think for chemistry reasons, I think maybe we look away from both of them. I think we take out Laurent as the weaker one. I think Laurent's the easier one to replace, and that's because you can get somebody very similar in the Premier League with Sissoko. Obviously there I was just trying to see if I can not change too much to his team, but get it on full chem, and there wasn't really any way of doing that because of the nation but what Valverde is from and just the rest of his team sort of base. But yeah, we've got obviously this team here now. What we're looking at, we've got Dembele, Mathew, Rashford, Sissoko coming in for Laurent, Valverde, Mendy, Varane, Gomez and Semedo. And we're looking probably for one more attacker. I don't know if he plays 4-4-2 or 4-2-3-1. Please let me know in future videos when you do send your team in how many coins you've got and what formation you play in game, and then I can obviously build the team a lot easier from that end. So basically what we're looking for is just a Premier League attacker really here. We could either go to like a flat 4-3-3 I believe now, and probably get we'll put him into there, and then we could go Lucas as the right winger. Then nothing really changes there for chemistry reasons. You could even go Gareth Bale if you want to use Gareth Bale. I know a lot of people are liking him this year because I think he's back in the Prem. A lot of people, obviously, he's got that hype around him, so another option you could go with. But then, obviously, after that stage, we've got to look to maybe improve the rest of the team. And what I'm probably thinking is maybe Nick Pope. I think people are expecting Nick Pope to be like the Jack Butland from FIFA, I think like 17 when he was ridiculous, or FIFA 18, I can't remember. I think that's what people expected with Nick Pope, but actually it's actually Alisson Not Alisson. What am I on about? He's not going to be as good. I just absolutely rambled there. Nick Pope's not going to be as good as that Batlam, but I think he's definitely a cheaper option. It obviously gives you that nice link into Gomez as well. I think we eventually upgrade that team with Hugo Lloris or Alisson. It's up to your choice. I don't think there's too much of a big upgrade there, but it's just nice to have them higher rate keepers in. Even though I don't think keepers really matter too much in this game, because I feel like a lot of them are pretty average. So obviously that comes up to preferences. Obviously we're just looking for upgrades wherever we can, but I think your main goal should be get Sissoko in for Laurent. Obviously then we can either keep Rashford there, bring in a central player like an Aubameyang. Obviously it depends on budgeting and so on. And then, you know, or even we could obviously put Rashford as that left right centre mid spot and then get in a right winger like Bale. I think that is like the two options you could really go with. I think the Sissoko for Laurent is just a like-for-like replacement. Obviously, the keeper thinks more of a luxury buy. And then from there, we're probably saving coins to try and get like a Neymar in or something like that. Obviously, to get a Neymar in, you need a lot of different chemistry links. So we'll probably go into detail of that once we get to that point. But for now, we've got to just look at the near future. And obviously, I think the Sissoko and Alisson and then look to get in somebody else who on full chem, either as the right winger or as somebody who can drop into that right centre mid spot for chemistry reasons, of course. So you can put a striker there and get full chem on them for in game, because I think that's like the way to go for your team. Honestly, I think you had a good basis of the team. You had everyone OP. You had like OP backline. You had Rivaldo. You had Laurent. Obviously, having them two is great, but I think you had to drop one to improve the team, and I think for me, Laurent's the easiest one to replace out of the two. Go with Rivaldo, Sissoko, and then the rest of the team is very similar, of course. That is what I would do for Team 1 for Nathan. Up next here, we've got Michael Teams from Twitter. Looking like a very sweaty, overpowered team. We've got some elite players in this team. We're looking at Mbappe, Mane and Salah being them guys. But let's quickly go into this team though from the back and then go to the front. Alisson in goal, Trent at the right back, Van Dijk and Pembe centre backs, Bernat left back, Mbappe left centre mid, Fabinho, Henderson, Salah, Aguero and Mane to finish off the team. Very good team. I like the idea of maybe going for this sort of triangle here. Obviously getting a strong link to Fabinho, well, to Mane gets over full chem, and then obviously this little triangle here is also a good option, but I think these players will lack very quickly. Kimpembe and Bernat, I think they're great options maybe early on, maybe for the first 2 weeks of FUT Championship might be alright, but I think as time goes on you're going to be noticing these are your weakest players by a long way. But also I think there's a lot more improvements you really could do to this team. I think, for example, taking Henderson out, I think you might be a Liverpool fan from what I'm seeing with all these players, but if I'm picking my team based on trying to get the most wins as possible, I'll probably get rid of Henderson, get Paul Pogba, because I think you're playing 4-4-2 or 4-2-3-1, so you have that Pogba, Fabinho link up in the midfield. I take out Trent, I bring in Semedo or Kyle Walker. It's really up to you which one you prefer. For me, at the moment I'm using Semedo because I think he's a little bit better on the ball, but I think they're both great options for you to look at. And then I'm also looking to get rid of Aguero and bring in, I would even debate, right, putting Rashford on weak chem as a 7 chem striker in this formation, of course. Or I would look, if I had the coins, to bring in Aubameyang. I think I saw on your bench you have quite a lot of things what were worth a bit of money. So this is why I'm trying to look at some more expensive upgrades for yourself, and obviously you're replacing some top players. But for me, I would probably go Rashford 7 chem. And then you got Mane, Salah. But actually this team only works if you're playing 4-4-2 really, because you don't really have a central cam unless you play Mane central cam. But if you're playing 4-4-2, this is great. Mbappe, Rashford up top, or Mbappe, Mane up top, and then Salah and Rashford on the wings could be a great option for you. Fabinho, Pogba is obviously a nice option, but as I said, I think this is the side we're looking to change as well after we've done this. It's obviously changes you can do now. Because of the Mbappe, you've got to be careful what you can and can't do, obviously, with the team. So he's a guy who's hard to link, you know, at the end of the day. You could either just play him on 7 chem and we can just completely change everything up. So for example, what I was just thinking slightly quick in my head, put Mane out there, Salah out there, Pogba there, Mbappe as a striker. We can take out Rashford now, Fabinho there, Alisson, Van Dijk, take out Kimpembe and Bernat. So here we've got the full chem on basically every player apart from Mbappe. Mbappe's going to be on 8 chem once he's got the loyalty and the manager bonus, so that's fine, I think. I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue for you here. And then we could basically just go all Prem for the rest of this if you really want. Maybe you could look into different sort of route, going for the France sort of links. I'm not really too sure on the top of my head if there's any good French attackers apart from Mbappe and Ben Yedder, and of course they play in the same league, so let's have a quick look there. I suppose you could go Brazilian as well, but they're also quite hard to link. But yeah, I don't think there's anything too outstanding straight from the back, no. So yeah, maybe you just go for full Prem for the rest. What I think the main goal for you here is to put proper Mbappe into this role. You get rid of Mane and Fabinho, and then you go Neymar. Obviously these are expensive purchases, but you go Neymar there. Maybe Rashford on weak chem as the left forward here. Kante. Well, actually, this is like a crazy upgrade. Should I go into this much detail? You know what? I'll show you what I would do for like long term for this team for sure. Gomez as there. Now we've got the new Telles as well, so we'll go for the Telles for Man United, and then you can literally put any CDM, I believe, right? Can we go for Fabinho? No, we can't. We need a French Donny. So we can go, if you want to go cheaper, for now we can go Sissoko, and obviously once you get them coins, you can go Kante. I think you need to change up your team quite a bit if you want to get the best out of Mbappe, because you had Mbappe, but the reason you had Mbappe was bad, if that makes sense. You had Kapembe and Bernat, and I think they're not good enough for you for when it comes to foot champs. So that's why I would be looking to get like Gomez plus a 6. Well, you can go Telles now, because he's obviously at Man United, and you can get that link all in together. I think this is quite a nice team for you to maybe look into get. But as I said, there's obviously other options which I mentioned earlier on, where you can keep that left side but then upgrade the right side, so get more meta players. So like the Semedo for Trent, and I think we put Pogba in for Henderson, and Rashford in for Aguero. And as I said, with the striker, you could probably go any other one. Though if you can go, I think the choices are like a Bamiyang, Mathew, Rashford on weak chem, Son on weak chem. I think that could be the route you could go to. Like you could maybe even drop Fabinho in that 4-3-2-1. Put Mane on weak chem as a striker, and then go Son. So Son's on full chem. So that could be quite a decent option for you. So yeah, this is team 2 complete. As I said, I think we went on to our massive upgrade here, but I did show you as the quick upgrades, and if you quickly just recap that as well for you, maybe just something what I did actually spring to my mind there, which I think could actually be really good. Obviously, I think low-key what I showed there though, like long term, that is what you've got to aim for, because that's just an elite way of, you know, setting your team up. So let's go, what was it, Son on there, left forward, and then we play Mane on weak chem if you want to keep your Liverpool players, because I know it seemed like you was a Liverpool fan, if we're totally honest with you. And then obviously on the left side we go back to what you had was like the Bernat and Kimpembe, just for now. And then I put Sissoko in because I think Sissoko does a job as good or maybe even better than Fabinho, and he gives you that obviously strong link to Son. So yeah, this could be definitely an option for you. I think he's actually cheaper and probably better, if I'll be totally honest with you. But yeah, this is what I would do to your team as a quick solution, but obviously I showed as a long term. I gave you a few different variations there, so hopefully maybe I'll give you some ideas for building your team in the future. On to the third team of the video, we've got Stats FBS over on Twitter's team, and this is obviously looking like a very sweaty, overpowered team once again. I think a lot of you guys are actually picking very good teams this year, to be honest with you. Obviously there's some teams where I have to do a lot more changes, but most of the time you guys have a good basis of how you want your team to look, and I think you guys are getting a good concept of it. But of course we're looking at this team and now we're thinking, okay, how can we make this team even better? Because I think we've got to a point where your team's in a very good situation, but there's definitely some things you can change, but it's definitely long-term stuff and you need a lot of coins. You've done well to get Neymar in my opinion. I think Neymar's one of the elite players this year. I think it goes like CR7, Mbappe and Neymar's the top 3 this year, so if you could try and get one of them in your team, it's obviously a bonus, which you have done. Obviously you're using the Richarlison to get him on, I think 8 chem with manager and loyalty, so that's a good option for you. From what I'm seeing, you're playing a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow as well with Kante, Pogba and Neymar as your midfield 3. I assume you're using Kante, CDM, Pogba and Neymar as the wide midfielders. wide midfielders, right centre mid and left centre mid. I call them wide midfielders because they're out wide as the centre mids even. And then obviously the defence, we've got Mathew, Varane, Upamecano and Davis and Lloris. I really like this back line. I like the link what you've done for Lema, but obviously you're at a point where you need to make upgrades. I assume you want to stay narrow, so this is what I've got to keep in consideration when you're building this team, because I don't usually build teams for narrow. But let's have a little look. For me, what I'm seeing there, I think we need to get rid of this left side, even though it's a very good left side. Let's not get it twisted. Lema, Davis and Opam are great, but we're looking at that point where we need to upgrade the team even more and try and make it even better. So what I would do, I'll put Varane out there. I bring then Vivaldi into that left centre mid option, because I think it's better in a 4-1-2-1-2. He's got that better attacking stats than Lema, and I think he's faster even. And then I would look to get Mendy in as your left back, so you're not really missing anything what Alphonso Davies offered. You've got Mendy in there to still give you good options there, and then obviously Vivaldi as I mentioned, is that box-to-box midfield. I think that could be a great trio of midfields. Then we can take Mathew out, as I think he was one of your weakest parts of your team. And then we're looking to just go Premier League on this side. If you can go cheaper option, Gomez, and then obviously go to Van Dijk. But with Van Dijk, you need Trent or a Liverpool player in this decision. Or you go Alisson in goal, you could, and then you wouldn't even need. You could go with any right back. But for me, I would say go Joe Gomez, Semedo. Did I go Semedo or Walker? You know, Walker is obviously an option if you want to keep Lloris. But as I said, you could go Alisson and then just get any right back you want. It really, I think basically Lloris and Alisson at the same price. So maybe do that, and then you can get Semedo in, or you go any right back in the Prem who you want. I think Semedo and Walker are your best sort of options. But I think this would make your team elite, to be honest. I don't think there was anything wrong with your team previously, but obviously we're looking at how to upgrade it and make it better. And I think this is probably one of the ways you could do that. So this is my suggestion for it. Obviously you got that three midfielders, Pogba, Kante, Vivaldi. We keep your 4-1-2-1-2 formation. After this sort of like upgrades, as I said, you could get Van Dijk in for Gomez, or we could even look to get Mbappe in for Richarlison and then go like a different right winger. But we can get into that point maybe later on once you've got more coins and some coins to spend. But I think this is sort of the upgrades I would do if it was me and I'm playing the 4-1-2-1-2. So yeah, hopefully this helps you out. Right, onto another Twitter team. We're going to try and get like 6 teams in this video, maybe even 7. We've got Demise Joe's team. I think he works for Demise Esports team. If you guys haven't checked them out, maybe if you're interested in esports, have a little look at their esports team and their program. But obviously we're looking at Demise Joe's team here. It's an okay team, if I'll be honest with you. I think there's a lot of changes we can do with this. I'm not going to go too crazy with it, because if it was me, I probably would re-ramp the whole team, if I'd be totally honest, because there's a lot of players in this team what were good last year but I don't think are great this year. And I'm looking at people like Messi, Hazard, Modric really as their options. Hazard's are still very usable this year, but I don't think Messi is, and I don't think Modric is. So if it was me, I'm probably revamping the whole team, but obviously I don't want to change too much of the team. Still want to keep your identity with it. So let's have a little look how I would do that without obviously changing too much. I'll go to the 4-3-3 first of all. I think it's the 4-3-3 I want to do this with. Is it the 4-3-3? I think so. I was just trying to work out in my head. Right, yeah. Keep João Felix. I know people are liking him. Go Messi, De Jong. Yeah. Like last year, that was the link what we went with a lot of the times. That the Messi De Jong or the Messi Semedo was so useful last year. We keep the Golaski, Kostum and Makili on the right side. Hermoso, we could put Felix there. Yeah, I like that. And then we could go with Vivaldi here. So now we're looking at, we'll keep the Atletico side. Obviously, they can get João Felix in if you want. I think you can get João Felix in any sort of way. You could go like Real Madrid here and then put Vivaldi as the centre mid if you really want. Or you could even go Laurent in instead of Vivaldi. I think them Laurent and Vivaldi are way better than Modric, like leaps and bounds above them. And obviously we're keeping De Jong, so I think you've got quite a nice partnership there with Frankie and Vivaldi. Keeping your left back in, basically keep it, as I said, I want to keep your sort of identity with this team without changing too much, and I think that's what we've done very quickly, but still made it a lot better, fast. So you could carry on using Hazard on weekend because there is a new card out. I don't know if Footbin's actually updated it yet. They still haven't, but Ansu Fati, let me just go over to Footbin and show you his left wing card. He's literally right there. I think it's like 180k or maybe more. 180 on PS, 200 on Xbox. This card is looking unbelievable. 4-star, 4-star, 5'10", 96 pace, 93 sprint speed, crazy agility, decent finishing as well, 88 finishing. Shot power's lacking, but good long shots, good penalties, good positioning. But the main things what I'm looking at here for are the acceleration, sprint speed, and agility and balance, because they're the stats what I'm looking for in a winger. And obviously Ansu Fati's Player of the Month card would do wonders in this role. And you can keep basically how you had it all set up, but I think you just make it a little bit better, as I said before. Didn't want to change up too much, but if it is me, if you want to know my honest opinion, if I was changing it up completely, I would sell it all and look to bring in like I don't know what the difference between Neymar and Mbappe's price, not Neymar and Mbappe, Messi's and Neymar's price, or just even selling Messi. What's Messi's price? 844. Wow, yes. That's ridiculous. Just because it's Messi. He is not that good this year, honestly. Unless there's something we figure out with dribbling. Like if you're on Xbox, you only got to pay 160k more and you get Neymar in, and that's a no-brainer in my opinion. So yeah, if it's me, I'm completely changing the whole team up, but keeping your identity and keeping the basis of what you built before, but still just making it stronger. I would look to bring in Vivaldi in for Modric, and then also bring in Player of the Month Ansu Fati. We've got the informed Ansu Fati here, but obviously I suggest going for the Player of the Month. If you don't want to go for the Player of the Month Ansu Fati because you don't want to put coins into an SVC, put Hazard back out on the wing, and then you could just bring in Naki Williams in as a striker because he's unbelievable this year. If you've used him in draft, you'll know this guy is unstoppable to stop. He's basically Adama Traore, but taller, and in the La Liga, it's nuts. So have a look at him if you not wanting to do Ansu Fati's SVC and put your coins into it. But I think this is still keeping your identity, but also improving it. So let me know if you do make any of these changes. Right, onto some Instagram teams here. We've got jenkogramm. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, go and head over into the description. My Instagram will be there, or if you just want to know it, it is venny.fifa. Go and drop me a follow. We're trying to build a bit of a little fan base over there, a bit of a community. I think we're close to 600 followers on there, so if you guys can head over there and hit a follow on Instagram, would be much appreciated. I'm going to try and bring some more FIFA content, but also maybe some live content, but it's a little bit hard to do the live content right now, like photo wise, because obviously COVID's going on, so can't really do too much really in that sort of situation. So we're looking at this team. It's quite a nice idea. I like what he's gone here with, obviously the Atletico Madrid triangle with a 4-5-1, and he's gone different leagues on the right and different league on the left. Not different league on the left even. He's gone different league through the middle. But we're looking at maybe some immediate upgrades in my opinion straight away. I think Bellerin can come out. I think we go some Mado. We still get that strong link into Traore, and we've also got some a much better right back than Bellerin. Semedo's unbelievable this year. It's really overpowered. Well, not really overpowered, but he's better than what people probably think he is going to be. If you used him last year, you know how good Semedo was, and once again he's as good as last year. So you keep that obviously right side. Obviously now, I think when you sent this, obviously the Ansu Fati Player of the Month wasn't out, but you can now go with the Player of the Month Ansu Fati, which is definitely a great option there. And then I think we need to look away from the La Liga Santander's left backs, unless you go Ferland Mendy. Ferland Mendy would get everyone on full chem there, but I'm looking at Lema and he's on weak chem, and I think there's so many options from Red Bull what you can use. What can get you full chem. Upamecano informed, for example, is one. Then you have that full chem into Lema, or there's even Canute, another option, and is there one more who I'm just completely forgetting? I think, or is it just Upamecano's normal card? Could be Upamecano's normal card what I'm thinking of, but I would personally go for the informed Upamecano. Then you got Lema there, Costin and Golaski, and then once again you go bring back in Mendy. That's their one on full chem. Upgrade Ansu Fati's Player of the Month. And then we could look, after we've got this, I think this is a great like midfield. You've got Laurent Lema, Mendy, Upam, Kossum, Semedo and Glasgow as your defensive sort of side to your team. And then we've got to look to improve your attacking side. Obviously, Ansu Fati will be one of the upgrades. But I think the Traore will be fine for a couple of weeks, and then João Felix and Suarez will be alright. But definitely maybe future today we look to increase or improve even that side of your team, because I think that will be the next step to improve your team. But I think this is a quick little fix for you. I don't think we need to do too much with the team, because I think I like the concept of your idea of your team, and as I just said, just need to improve certain positions to get everyone on full chem. I don't think you're really missing too much in your team, because as I said, I think if you're not getting Mendy, obviously the left backs are not the greatest. If you don't mind using Lema on weak chem and you want to keep Hernandez, you can easily just do this, bring in Hernandez once again. And very simple, we just use Alphonso Davies strong link, the Bayern Munich strong link to Hernandez, and then Ansu Fati still stays full chem. So that is definitely an option what you could do, but I think that Upamecano into Mendy is a great option for you, or Canute if you want to go even cheaper. Yeah, very, very quick fixes I think with this team. I don't think you need to change too much. I think once we get to this point, we look to, as I said, improve your attack, but I think Ansu Fati's player of the month will do a huge upgrade to your team anyway, and obviously this defense and getting everyone on full chem would be a great choice. So just quickly recapping, bring in Upamecano in form, and then bring in Mendy. I think you're looking at like 300-400k for that upgrade, so still, and even Semedo. So yeah, you probably are looking at about 400k for that upgrade, which is quite an expensive upgrade, but definitely worth looking into for your team for sure. So let me know what you let me know what you do. On to the final team of the episode. We've got Matthew's full stop 07 even from Instagram. This is his starter team, just a basic all-round Prem team. I'm liking the look of it, but I think with Prem teams, there's obviously starter teams, there's obviously upgrades you can do constantly with it. I think that's why a lot of people like going Prem, because there's constant improvement you can do with it, because they get a lot of special cards, and just generally the players resting the team you can obviously improve. For me, I think there's a lot of improvements we can actually do. Obviously, a lot of them, some of them are going to be more expensive than others. I'm not going to go too crazy with how expensive some of these upgrades are, but I just want to do some quick boosts. I think Bellerin comes out, for example. I think everybody's team I've seen today, I might put Semedo right back, because I think it's just such an essential if you're going for that Premier League sort of side to do. I then want to take out Rudiger and bring Eric Bailly in, because I think Eric Bailly is just a step above Rudiger, and he's a lot. I think he's like 6-7k cheaper, so I'll definitely do that for a quick change. Keep Tomori in for now, he's more than good enough. Once we get the coins, we look to maybe get in Joe Gomez, take out Digne, he's not fast enough. And then I would literally rather use like Kieran Tierney as the left back. Let me just check Premier League left backs what there is, if there is anything much better than that, because generally Digne's not worth it, because he's I think he might be fairly expensive. I don't think too expensive, but you need pace at that left back spot. You got Reguilon this year, I forgot about that, and obviously Tellez. Yeah, so you look at Digne's like 9k, you can get Reguilon for 8k. It's a no-brainer. Let's put Reguilon there instead of Kieran Tierney. If you want to go even cheaper, you can obviously go Kieran Tierney, but Reguilon, making a quick upgrade there. Take out Henderson. Henderson's no use this year. Honestly, I don't know why people keep putting Henderson into their teams. We put Sissoko in. You could go to Sissoko, Ndidi, and Ndombele. There's so many different options, sweaty options, what you can do for the Prem, and that is the quick fix. What I would do, just bring in Sissoko in for that. Now we've shored up the defense. I think Van der Beek's actually quality this year. I used him in a draft and he was unreal. We keep Richarlison. Of course, he's a great player as well. And then we're looking to probably improve these wingers. I think Rodrigo's fine. Richarlison Rodrigo as your striker partner is fine. I think we need a bit more skills. I don't know if you use skills in your game, but I would look to maybe get in Zaha as one of the options. Obviously, I think he's only like 30 odd K, so he's definitely worth looking to put into your team. Obviously, that's the weak foot, but I think he's probably a lot better than Bergwijn. I think Bergwijn's got 2-star weak foot, so it's actually an upgrade. So yeah, and you get 5-star skills with Zaha. So I definitely look to get Zaha into your team. And on the right side, obviously, there's the problem with the Prem right side. Obviously, you're looking to go for probably Salah, right? But if you can't get Salah, you're then looking at Bale. once again, very expensive. And then if you can't get that, you're looking at Lucas, 60k, still quite expensive. Then you're looking at the other players. You got like Mahrez, he's 30k. Don't think he's worth that. You got Adama. I'd rather go Adama, but is there actually that much difference between Pepe and Adama apart from the pace? Not really. I think Pepe might be better when it comes to everything else but the dribbling and the pace. But if that's what you're looking for, if you're playing like a 4-4-2 or 4-2-3-1, maybe Adama's actually better to do, because then you've got that pace just bombing it down the wing. If you know how overpowered through balls are this year, it's probably quite essential for you to get Adama for your team. So yeah, maybe go Adama, Zaha, Sissoko, Bailly, Reguilon and Semedo as your upgrades. Obviously with the Prem, as I said, there's constant changes, there's constant upgrades you can constantly be doing as such. Like for example, we can go from Torreira, as I mentioned, we can go from Lucas to Bale to Salah, and then on the left we can go Zaha to, let me try and think who's on the left. Zaha, Rashford, Mane, striker for example, Rodrigo, you can go Rodrigo, Martial, Aubameyang, you know, so on. It just works out all the way through the Premier. I think that's why a lot of people go. The best thing about this team now, with your wing backs, you won't ever need to change them in my opinion, if you're keeping with the Prem. I think them two are the best options you can got. You can obviously go Telles as the left back once he's out of one to watch, or if you want to splash the cash out on the one to watch. I don't really recommend doing that though. But yeah, this is what I would do if it's me. Obviously, as I mentioned though, Prem, yeah, it's constant upgrades you can do, and it's definitely a good sort of a league to go with. But that'll be it for me, guys. Hope you guys are enjoying this series. I think this is episode 3 of it all coming together now. As I mentioned probably in the intro, there's probably going to be like 4 or 5 of these, so if you guys haven't seen your team yet in the first 3 episodes, it will be coming, I promise. As I said, I'm trying to cover everybody's team because I want to help you out just before Champs comes out, and I think it's probably the best time for me to do it. And then once that's done, in the next weeks after that, it'll probably either be like 2 times a week or maybe 1 time a week, depends how much interest there is for this series. But don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe, and peace.
We'll be right back.